G'day, my name is Felix. Welcome to my little corner of the back rooms. Today we're checking out more 14 Days with You. Let's get into it. The casual banter continues throughout dinner, and soon enough, all the containers were empty and our stomachs were full. I dimmed the lights and switched the TV on at some point to fill the silence between our conversations, and soon enough, Ren and I find ourselves taking an interest in a movie that was currently playing. It was some unknown sappy rom-com that came out almost a decade ago, yet Ren didn't seem to mind all that much. I wasn't following the plot too keenly, but from what I could gather, the male lead just confessed his love for the main character in the back of his truck. To top it all off, it started raining as some slow melodic love song came onto the radio. The two characters were all too happy to share a sweet kiss with each other in that romantic moment, but the tenderness soon gets cut short once the scene starts to travel down a more heated path. Oh my god, their kisses become more passionate, and before I know it, I'm watching the main character lean across the center console to sit in his lover's lap instead. Clearly I wasn't expecting this to happen in what I falsely believed was a harmless rom-com, so I dared a glance in Ren's direction to gauge his reaction. Yet aside from the faint dusting of pink on his cheeks, the rest of him seemed all too relaxed. There's an arm casually thrown over the back of the couch while the rest of his body is slouched into the plushness of the seat. His lanky limbs are stretched out in front of him, while his thighs are spread out slightly, and the empty space between his legs was beginning to look inviting for some reason. Was it because of the movie? Before I can stop myself, I find my mind wandering. Keep the movie on down. We're adults. What was I thinking? This movie was clearly messing with my head. Subtly, I slapped my cheeks and focused my attention back to the TV screen. But every so often, my gaze flickers back to Ren, to see if he was feeling just as awkward as I was throughout the scene. And it seems I was right. It's almost painful watching him awkwardly clear his throat a few times, until his interest ultimately shifts toward my wall instead. I also feel the urge to look away once the couple starts to get even more handsy with each other, and when it starts to become too much to bear, I impulsively change the channel. A monotone voice droning on about the weather fills the silence, and I feel the couch move as Ren shifts in his seat. That was, yeah, they were really going at it, huh? Jeez, I can't believe it's somehow even more awkward now. But just as I'm about to do something about it, Ren awkwardly clears his throat and moves to stand up. It's getting a bit late now, isn't it? I should probably start heading home soon. Oh, are you sure? You can stay a bit longer. No, I really should go, now that I think about it. You need to wake up early, don't you? Yeah, actually, but how did you know that? Oh, you seem like the early bird type. He doesn't seem to elaborate on that, and instead starts to pack up his belongings and head towards that hallway. Deciding that was that, I walked Ren toward the front door with a soft smile on my face. Today had been a lot of fun thanks to him. I was able to keep my mind off of the events that would ultimately transpire tomorrow. I was still unsure about Teo's intentions, but being with Ren helped me to understand that maybe it was wrong for me to judge others so quickly. At first I thought Ren was just some shy guy with a stuttering problem, but over the course of a few days, I've learned there's more to him than just that. He had his moments of confidence, and it was endearing watching him stand up for the things that he wanted. Perhaps I was being a bit too harsh on Teo. Even he deserved the chance to redeem himself. Perhaps. I suppose I'll give him a chance tomorrow. Felix? Sorry? Crap, I really need to stop spacing out like that. I asked if you wanted me to lock the door for you. It suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks. I was still standing in the hallway while Ren was already waiting for me at the door. So I quickly rush over to him with a flushed expression. Sorry, I was just busy thinking. I can lock it, thanks though. You do that a lot, it's cute. I almost roll my eyes at his words as I lean against the front door and watch Ren awkwardly shuffle on my doormat. Thanks for today. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. Not at all. Thanks for coming over. Get home safe, okay? Ren's eyes seemed to light up the moment I voiced my concern over him. Yeah, okay. I will. You too, or I mean, you're already home, so get to bed safe, or sleep safe. Sleep well. What am I? I can't help but chuckle at his panic state, and Ren seems to settle once he hears my laughter. Good night, Ren. Good night, Felix. I'll see you tomorrow. The sound of the door shutting drowns out the ending of his sentence. Once I had nothing left to do for the night, I get changed into some comfy pajamas and brush my teeth before settling into bed. The newest chapter for Always With You was going to drop in a few hours, and I figured I might as well stay up and read it before going to sleep. My eyes were starting to get droopy, and all my mind could think about was the double date I had planned with Leon, Teo, and Elanor tomorrow. Man, I sure hope everything will be fine. But I know worrying about it wasn't going to do me any favors, so I let my pent-up stress out on my pillow by smacking it to make it less lumpy. Though the moment I unceremoniously flop back down, I notice a cold draft and the fact that my bedroom window was left open. Strange. I don't remember opening it earlier. With a groan, I get up from my bed and go close it. I want to lock it shut. Something moves from within the shadows and startles me. Squinting, I can barely make out the black mass moving through the gaps in the fire escape balcony. What was that? A person? It certainly wouldn't be strange for someone to take a cigarette break at this hour, but I couldn't smell any telltale signs of smoke. Maybe it was my landlord's cat out for a leisurely midnight stroll. That idea seemed more realistic in my mind. Yet despite my futile attempts at calming myself down, I still somehow find the willpower to go back to bed rather than opening the window once more and taking another curious peek outside. I didn't have a death wish, nor did I have the stupidity of those cliché horror movie characters. But before I turn away, I double-check to make sure that the window is locked shut and the blinds are fully closed. I wasn't about to risk it. Happy with the precautions put in place, I make a hasty dive towards the warmth and safety of my bed. Snuggled deep within my blankets, I find it harder and harder to think about someone breaking in, and even more so with keeping my eyes open. Before I knew it, pink-colored sheep slowly filled my mind as I drifted away. Rainbow bandages, a red tunnel, blue eyes. That's all I can seem to recall from my dream as the blaring beep, beep, beep of my alarm pulls me from my slumber. Rainbow bandages? Almost groggily, I reach for my phone to turn it off and flop back into my bed. Curious, I glance at the screen to check the time, only to get blinded by the brightness of my wallpaper. Wincing at the bright screen that practically flashbangs me, I crack open one eye to read the numbers on the screen. 9:05 a.m. So it wasn't too early then. I still had plenty of time to get ready for the day and possibly make some waffles for breakfast. The batter would expire soon anyway, and I didn't really feel like visiting the bakery this morning. With that plan in mind, I let out a sleepy groan and roll out of bed. Muscle memory kicks in, and my immediate reaction is to open the blinds for some much-needed sunshine. But when I glance at my windows, they were already pulled back. How did you not notice that, dude? Sunlight had been pouring into my room for who knows how long, and I didn't even notice? And when did I open them? I swear I closed the blinds last night. Yeah, I remember. Because we came back into our room and the window was open and we were like, what the fuck? So we closed and locked the window and then closed the blinds, right? In fact, I was confident I did because there was no way I'd be getting any sleep after finding out a potential stalker was creeping outside my window. Don't tell me someone broke in again. Why would they open the blinds? Well, that's probably Ren, I guess. I try not to focus on the twang of dread slowly building up inside the pit of my stomach. I wasn't about to get worked up again, and so early in the morning too. Dude, you're being way too nonchalant about this. This was not what I needed to start my day with. Deciding not to dwell on it for now, I stand up and gradually work out the kinks in my body. No way I was going to let this ruin the outing I had planned with Teo, Elanor, and Leon. Oh my god, I forgot! The aquarium! Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We were supposed to go to the aquarium today. With that in mind, I make a mental note to dress appropriately as I walk over to my closet. Absent-mindedly, I run my fingers across some of my clothes before pulling something edgy from the rack. My usual style has never let me down before, so I decided to stick with the theme and wear something similar. I pick out a few more matching pieces and accessories before giving them all a cursory glance. What are we wearing? You're not going to tell me? Feeling satisfied with the items I chose, I nodded in approval before heading to the bathroom to change. I doubt the hot water would work this early in the morning, so having a nice refreshing shower was definitely out of the question. Well, not that it really mattered. I still needed to buy some more shampoo anyway, and... oh, strange. Was my toothbrush holder always this solid black color? Could have sworn it was grey. Are you telling me someone, maybe or maybe not Ren, changed my toothbrush holder? Picking it up from the shelf, I give it a once-over. The hardcore print was still there, yet it somehow felt heavier in my hands. But then again, I don't exactly go around meticulously measuring how heavy my items are in the first place. Jeez, today was a serious day of overthinking, huh? You're pissing me off! You're too, you just don't give a fuck, do you, dude? This is crazy. Putting the holder back on the shelf, I focus my attention back on the reflection of myself in the mirror and give myself an appreciative nod. The outfit I chose looks perfect, and once I put everything on, all I'd have left to decide on is how I should style my hair. Absent-mindedly brushing a hand through my mid-length black hair, I tried to come up with something that'll look good. An idea comes to mind, and I immediately set to work. What are we doing? An hour flies by, and I've somehow managed to get dressed, style my hair, and finish breakfast in record time. With nothing else left to do, I decided I might as well kill time in the entryway by picking out which shoes to wear. Okay. But, just as I stop in front of the shoe rack, something near the front door catches my eye. A letter? Odd. My door doesn't have a letterbox, so I usually have to visit the front desk to collect my mail. That is, if Violet doesn't bring it up for me. So, what was this doing here? Curiosity gets the better of me, and I find myself scooping up the letter and opening it. Inside was nothing more than a folded note written in red ink and... was that a lock of dark blonde hair? What the... does this belong to Kiara? What? A chill runs down my spine once I realize what exactly this item is, and I hesitantly scan the rest of the note for answers. It simply read, I think she might need a new lock as well, don't you think? And don't bother warning her about this. I'll know. Let's keep this between us, alright? It'll be our little secret. What the hell? Was this somehow tied to that asshole who broke into my apartment a few days ago? Or was it someone else entirely? Though admittedly, whoever the stalker was, they were honestly doing a pretty bad job at making their intentions clear. I mean, what exactly were they trying to accomplish by doing this? Beginning of a few things. Did they want me to stay away from Kiara as well? Or just keep silent? What did they get out of blackmailing me like this? And why target Kiara specifically? None of this made any sense. And now that I give it more thought, I still wasn't sure what they wanted from me, either. Why go through all this trouble in the first place? It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong. Maybe moving back to the Bay wasn't a good idea after all. I mean, I left the hardships and turmoil of the city behind for a reason. I wanted fresh air, new faces, and a more easygoing lifestyle. Things I'd never get in the city. And now it seems like history is only repeating itself once more. I thought I could live a peaceful life here with my new job and friends, and now I've somehow found myself in more trouble than I could ever ask for. And what's worse is that after denying my own paranoia for so long, this was all it took to convince me that my potential intruder really was real after all. Shit. Maybe Violet was right. I remember brushing off her concerns because the idea of a stalker seemed so far-fetched to me, especially given Corlin Bay's innocuous reputation. But now, admittedly, a big part of me wanted to see if Violet was still home, but another part kept me rooted in place. Would it be safe? What if the intruder was still lurking outside? Ah! Suddenly my phone goes off and scares the living daylights out of me, so much so that I end up dropping it on the hardwood floor and clambering to pick it back up in a panic. Shit. With shaking hands, I forgo looking for any dents and cracks in the screen as I try to discern the reason for the noise instead. The letter T shows up where the caller ID should be, alongside a suggestive contact photo of someone's abs that I don't remember taking, which could only mean one thing. My favorite character. Teo was calling. Takes a few failed attempts, but I somehow managed to press the answer button and respond with a shaky tone. Hello? Well, damn, doll. You sound like you just woke up. Not planning on sleeping in, are you? What? No, Good, because I'm outside your apartment right now. Your neighborhood looks like shit, by the way. Smells like it, too. You're so fucking delightful, Teo. Did you seriously just call me to make fun of where I live? I called to tell you to hurry up unless you want to walk to the aquarium. In fact, maybe I should just... Oh, damn it. Well, if it isn't little Miss Priss all by her lonesome. Oops, she looks mad. Who's little Miss Priss? Teo's voice practically oozes smugness as he taunts whoever it is he's talking to, most likely Violet, before I hear him adjust the phone and continue speaking. Oi, dollface, hurry up, won't you? He hangs up before I can mutter out a response. Oh, he pisses me off. I hate him so much. But still, knowing that Teo was downstairs somehow gives me the confidence to leave the safety of my home, though not before committing the state of my apartment to memory and triple-checking my lock. I have half a mind to quickly snap photos of everything to see if anything was touched in my absence, but I doubt I'd have enough time. Still, if my stalker does decide to come back again, I'd want to know. But now that I'm thinking about photos, it gives me the perfect opportunity to splurge on some security cameras. I've been needing them for quite some time now anyway. With all this talk of violent crimes, dead bodies and murder happening on the news lately, and now this intruder, I figured it'd be better to be safe than sorry. So, deciding to let Teo suffer, even just a little bit, at the hands of Violet, I pull out my phone to scroll through some home security bundles on sale as I make my way toward the lobby. Excuse me. Teo ended up being uncharacteristically quiet throughout the drive, and if I were being honest, I appreciated the silence. It was definitely odd not having our typical playful banter, but it also wasn't something I needed first thing in the morning. He also doesn't seem in the mood to be disturbed, given by how he clenches the steering wheel with one hand, while the other supports his head against the window ledge like some angsty teen. So I try to settle further into the admittedly comfortable seat of his luxury car, and focus my attention on the scenery as it passes by. It isn't long before the aquarium comes into view, as Teo looks around for a decent place to park. We must have picked a busy day to visit, considering the amount of cars parked both outside and in the reserved parking area. Though Teo seemed to have somewhere in mind. I watch as he drives straight past a very clearly labeled no-go zone and pulls up into one of the empty spaces without so much as a reaction. I'm not even surprised, dude. Not even a little bit. He doesn't even wait for me to get out before he opens his door and walks to the front of the car. Not wanting to be left behind, I quickly follow suit. Teo? I was about to question whether he was allowed to park in the employee zone in the first place, but given how he shamelessly pulls down one of the warning signs and tosses it into a bush, I figured that was my answer. Dude! Doesn't take long before he's right by my side once more and ushers me towards the front entrance. I hope your car gets towed, dude. I almost stumble over my feet as Teo pulls me along, but not before almost bowling him over as he abruptly stops in front of me. Huh, look at that. Almost like a loyal dog, isn't he? Glancing in the direction he was pointing, I see Leon sitting on one of the benches as he absentmindedly watches people go by. Once he catches sight of us, he immediately leaps up to his feet and rushes over with a wave and a warm smile. It's a good thing he doesn't bite. At that snarky comment, I nudge Teo with my elbow and send him an eye roll. I doubt he takes any notice of it though, since Leon's arrival takes up all of our attention. Heyo, you look good, sunfish. You're not so bad yourself, oarfish. Oarfish? What the fuck is an oarfish? Oh, it low-key looks like an eel. Hello, I'm here too. Yes, we know, bitch. Elanor hasn't arrived yet? Scoffing at our playful dismissal, Teo cracks a joint in his neck and crosses his tattooed arms. However, he doesn't seem to stray from his spot, which meant that he still had an interest in our conversation. At his almost childlike reaction, Leon shoots his friend a cheeky, lopsided smile before continuing. I'm sure she's on her way. She said something about wanting to get her steps in our group chat. Is that why she didn't want Teo picking her up? And actually, I don't know if you realize, but you guys were 15 minutes early. Really? No thanks to Teo's speeding, I guess. And what about you? I'm guessing you had to walk all the way here, right? There's nothing wrong with getting a bit of exercise in the morning. I'm sure Elanor would agree. And I just got here, actually. Really? Because it looked like you were sitting on that bench for a while. I just sat down. Long enough to stretch your legs, huh? Okay, so maybe I did arrive half an hour early. Why? Well, I was excited. It's been a while since I've been to the aquarium. Even longer since you've seen Dollface over here, I bet. Huh? Can you blame me? We've been separated for years, and now we're finally reunited again. It must be fate. No, destiny. Playing along with Leon's dramatics, I lean against his side and clutch at the spot above my heart. It's written in the stars. You guys are genuinely so embarrassing. Oh, fuck off, mate. Hearing Teo huff once more, Leon and I both watch as he tries to distance himself by looking at the poster on the wall. No doubt feigning interest in it. It wasn't like Teo really cared much for marine life. All his world revolved around was wealth and luxury, giant tech companies, and probably starting fires. Yeah, definitely starting fires. Though, for a guy who spent most of his time in the shadow of his father's legacy, I had to hand it to him. Teo was seemingly more down to earth than other people I've met. Huh? In what fucking universe is Teo down to earth? He didn't have to spend time with us, but he did, as much as he'd often joke about not wanting to affiliate himself with people outside of his tax bracket. Teo sure seemed to like hanging out with Jay, Leon, and me. Are you sure he doesn't just do it to make himself look better? I wonder, does he ever feel lonely? Before my thoughts can delve any further, I feel a gentle nudge at my side. Looking to my left, I see Leon peering at me with a curious expression. You know, I'm really glad you came, but also I'm honestly surprised you agreed to this. Surprised? What do you mean? Oh, well, you know, is Ren okay with this? Ren? The guy we met at the pier the other day. He said something about being your boyfriend. Oh, right. My boyfriend. Whether or not it was because I wanted to stake my claim over Ren, or because he confidently declared myself as my boyfriend a few days ago, I couldn't help but let it slip. But Leon seemed to pick up on the hesitance laced in my words, given how he inquisitively tilts his head and sends me a reassuring smile. Is it still a new thing for you? I'm sure calling someone your boyfriend must take some time to get used to. Take things at your own pace. Yeah, especially considering fucking Teo. And that, whatever that fucking situation was, dating but not dating. It was strange hearing this kind of advice from Leon, especially after practically lying to him that I wasn't going to say anything. We've been friends for so long, yet the topic of dating had never seemed to come up between us, much less something more extreme like settling down or getting married. At that, I recall a fond memory from my youth. A younger version of ourselves greets me as they innocently play a game of pretend on the playground. I can see Leon in all his boyish charm, as he promises to marry me from atop the slide, before he slides down it and runs to my side in glee. He seems all too happy to run circles around me while he shouts to the skies about protecting me from the bad guys, yet something else was missing from the scene. Something I couldn't fully remember. What was it? As long as he's chill with this, yeah? I wouldn't want any misunderstandings to happen. Great, I had been spacing out again. Not wanting to offend Leon with my silence, I try to make sense of his words before coming up with a sufficient response of my own. Yeah, he's fine with it. I don't think we even talked to him about it. Probably. Besides, I only agreed to this outing because Elanor genuinely seemed like she wanted to go. And it's not like this is a date anyway, so... Hey, don't sweat it, Felix. No need to explain yourself either. I get what you're saying. I'm sure everything... Leon cuts himself off when he notices something behind me. And when I turn around, I see Elanor running up to the group with a flushed expression on her face. But as she draws near, she clumsily trips on a stray piece of cobble and tumbles forward. Ah! Oh, Jesus Christ. Without thinking, I lurch forward to close the gap between us, but Teo's muscular arm beats me to it. Almost effortlessly, he reaches out to catch her, almost like those cliche romantic movies, except not at all, because Teo was allergic to anything romantic. A fact that's emphasized by the look of pure disdain on his face as he pulls my coworker to her feet. Then why'd you step in, dude? No one forced you to. Elanor seems to be blissfully enjoying every moment of it, though, seeing as she practically clutches onto his bicep while looking up with wide, sparkling eyes. Oh, honey. In fact, I doubt she was even aware of our presence with how she stays rooted in Teo's awkward embrace. Looks like she really fell for him, huh? You're as bad as Jay with those puns. He's rubbing off on me. Come on, let's go see if she's okay. As it turns out, Elanor really was okay, being cradled inside the arms of Teo. But the moment only lasts until Leon and I rejoin the group with a knowing smile on our faces. Teo aptly chooses not to say anything, and out of solidarity, or perhaps future blackmail, neither do we. And soon enough, we all found ourselves waiting in line to buy admission tickets. Elanor happily takes photos of us while Teo scrolls through his phone, and Leon stands beside me to look at all the colorful fish in the small tanks. This is rather exciting, don't you think? Really? It's just fish. You're the one that suggested coming here, you annoying fuck! You're gonna spike my blood pressure, dude. Oh wait, come on, show a bit more enthusiasm, yeah? If you love him that much, wait till you find out what's at the beach. He surfs, doesn't he? I think he knows what's at the fucking beach, dude. I want to apologize in advance for him. No, it's fine. I'm sure Teo has other interests that excite him. Fish just aren't particularly one of them. Honey. Wanna know what makes me excited? Leon and I both share a look before rolling our eyes. Breaking tail. That is not what I thought you were going to say. Breaking tail lights and slashing tires. Oh. Wait, slashing tires? Isn't that illegal? Probably. I'm just messing with you, princess. Loosen up a little. All too quickly, the light-hearted mood gets replaced with something serious as Leon's phone starts buzzing. Recognition flashes across my childhood friend's face as he looks at the screen, for he awkwardly scratches at the back of his neck and points toward the entrance with his thumb. Excuse me. Sorry guys, give me a sec. Without waiting for a response, Leon makes a beeline for the front door. After a few seconds, I see his figure emerge from outside the large windows, pacing back and forth on the sidewalk as he talks to someone on the phone. Judging by the solemn expression on his face, I can only guess that the call isn't a good one. I sure hope everything's alright. Too caught up in Leon's shift in demeanor, I barely notice how Eleanor's hand gently pushes Teo and I forward so they can speak to the clerk at the front desk. Broad, tattooed shoulders now block my view from the window, which causes me to shift my attention back to the present. But Teo doesn't seem to notice my lack of focus, or perhaps he just doesn't care, as he pulls out a black card from his wallet and leans over me to hand it to the woman behind the counter. He could have gone without the nonchalant, smug look on his face, but I wasn't about to say anything when he was literally about to pay for my admission fee. But before I could begrudgingly thank him, Eleanor's excited voice cut me off. Ooh, do you suppose there will be shows today as well? I saw some advertised outside. Oh yeah? I wasn't paying much attention to them. Wait, oh yeah, you were just fucking pretending to. I hope there'll be penguins. Perhaps Leon would enjoy them. What about me? I don't think you give a fuck about penguins, Teo. You? I don't suppose you like sharks? I can hear the clerk chime in with information on the latest hotspots and what shows are playing, but I shut it all out when I noticed Leon standing idly near the doorway, still sporting that concerned look on his face. Without missing a beat, I make my way over to his side and spare him an empathetic glance. I'm really sorry about all that, Felix, but something has come up involving my mom at the hospital. No! Oh no, is everything okay? Yeah, no, Mom's fine. It's just some important paperwork I need to fill out on her behalf. You know, since Dad is still working abroad and all. Are you trying to tell me that you're gonna leave me with these two? Look, I get it, dude. I'm really sorry about your mom, but I don't want to be alone with Teo and Elanor. I'm sorry, but I really gotta go. I'll try to come back as soon as I'm... Hey, don't sweat it, Leon. Focus on your mother first. Of course. I don't miss the way his entire demeanor softens at my concern. Leon looks as though he wants to say something serious, but holds himself back at the very last second. As if to compensate, I end up filling the silence instead. I'm sure I can survive third-wheeling Teo and Eleanor's date alone. I don't think I can. To be 100% honest with you, I don't think I can. Jeez, I really owe you one. Actually, you know what? Here. Before I can refuse, Leon shoves a stack of small bills into my palm and closes his hand around it. Hey, you don't have to. Besides, Teo already paid for everything just now. Nah, I won't be hearing anything from you. If you won't accept it, then spend it all on something for me instead, yeah? Go to town in the souvenir shop. See if they have any sunfish merch there. I don't want fucking sunfish merch! I hate it! They're so ugly. Alright, thank you, Leon. No worries, doll. But I really gotta go now. I'll tell you Mom said hi. Sorry, hang on. I can't fucking read it. But I really gotta go now, though. I'll tell Mum you said hi. Leon turns on his heel before I have the chance to respond, so he completely misses me waving him off. In his rush, he almost knocks someone over, but he quickly helps them regain their footing and apologizes for speeding off once more. Man, I sure hope everything's alright with his mother. Before I can dwell on it any longer, the sweet melody of Eleanor's laughter pulls me from my thoughts, and I turn back towards the group. I'm not mentally prepared for this, dude. I noticed that Teo and Elanor are now standing by the entrance, which also happened to double as a massive underwater tunnel, all while pointing to a school of fish swimming over their heads. When Elanor notices my presence, she happily waves me over before her attention shifts toward the door behind me, no doubt expecting to see Leon walk back in and join us. It made sense, considering how they missed his departure, but she snaps out of her curious daze the moment Teo brushes a hand against her back to move her out of the way of a family passing by. I hate it here! I don't want to be here. But what truly shocks me is that he doesn't seem to move his hand. Instead, Teo leaves it there as he steps closer and blocks my coworker from my view. He meets my gaze with an intense, unreadable expression, and I can't help but look away. What the fuck is going on? I might be reading this wrong, but why do I get the feeling that Teo's trying to make me jealous? What was that all about? Suddenly, the moment felt too personal for my liking, almost as if I shouldn't be looking at something so intimate. Turning away, I decide to channel my interest into picking out a roadmap from the brochure stand instead. If Teo and Elanor were planning on getting cozy with each other, I needed to plan my escape route. But before I move away, I noticed a lone aquarium tank off to the side. It was far enough from the eyes of the people still waiting in the queue, but still close enough to the entrance to entice any passerbys to come in and take a look. Inside were countless amounts of colourful fish, coral and other sea crustaceans. And I couldn't help but look in awe at some of the bright marine life as they float about in the water. If only Leon could join us. Could almost hear his laughter at some of the sunfish-like creatures that swim by. Keeping the rest of the group in sight, I stray slightly to the right for a better vantage point. As a group of neon tetrafish zip past and my eyes follow them as they swim around. They easily stand out against the bright orange and green corals, and especially the pink and blue. Wait, pink and blue? Peering closer to the glass, I catch sight of a familiar face on the other side of the tank. What is up with his hands? What's going on here? And what's this? Ren doesn't seem to notice me yet, seeming far too entranced by the brightly colored creatures as they swim by. His soft eyes follow some of the smaller fish as they dart across the tank, before swapping over to the group of guppies swimming past. Guppies are tiny, dude. They're so little. My parents used to have a fish tank, like a really long time ago. Suddenly, our eyes meet the moment the fish split up, and I watch as Ren's expression morphs from surprise into a sickeningly sweet look. He tries to say something, but his words come out inaudible due to the glass separating us. This definitely looks like holes from piercings, dude. As if realizing, Ren instead points to one of the fish off to the side before resting his hand on the glass and mouthing something else. Still can't fully understand what he was trying to say, that is until my eyes land on what he was pointing at. Catching me off guard, I watch in awe as a lone fish swims between us and captures both of our attention. Is it an angelfish? Yeah, I called it. Was that an angelfish? The fond memory from our time at the pier comes to mind, and I find myself thinking back to when Ren affectionately gave me that nickname. And had I known any better, I would have assumed that he was thinking about the same thing. What do you mean if you'd known any better? He is thinking about the same thing, dude. Don't piss me off. Given the way his eyes crinkle and soften as the fish's scales shimmer underneath the artificial light. Too absorbed in how picturesque this all looked, I completely miss Ren's swift departure. That is, until he's rounding the corner of the fish tank and taking his place by my side. Oh, thank God I don't have to third wheel, dude. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.